The curtain rises once more then on the desert stage of Shakir as the players take their places for the opening act. Will they enthrall us like they did in 2014 with that titanic battle between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton? Well, we'll find out shortly as we get underway here in Bahrain. There's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit, with the best at turn 1 of course, and then another soon into turn 4. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, and we could see 1 or 2 flat spots into the tight left-hander of turn 10. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk briefly about Sebastian Vettel. Looks like they've got a tough race in store today as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Kimi Räikkönen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Johansson, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo and Magnussen, Grosjean, Alonso, Sainz and Sebastian Vettel. They've taken a grid penalty. Hülkenberg, Leclerc, Sergio Perez and Bottas, Ocon, Ericsson, Brendan Hartley and Stoffel van Dorn. Sirotkin and Lance Stroll rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going. Let's focus now for the rest of the race. Be careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish. a second separate you. They're on fresh super softs. Their tyres are 1 lap old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 38.5. Nice move. Will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. You are in first position, front of the pack. Hamilton is behind you. The gap to the car behind is 1.2 seconds. They're on fresh super softs. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Just 3 laps to go now. 3 laps. That's a new fastest lap for the race. You're leading the pack, P1. Hamilton behind. The gap behind us is 1.6 seconds. They're on fresh super softs. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. Leading our teammate by 14.5 seconds. They're on fresh super softs. The time last lap was a 1:38.7. Hamilton is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 2.6 seconds. They're on fresh super softs. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 36.9. Position, front of the pack. Hamilton behind. Our gap behind is 3.6 seconds. They're on fresh super softs. This is your final lap of the race. teammate behind is 18.3 seconds. They're on fresh super softs. The time last lap was a 1:38.7. This is your final lap of the race. The brakes and tyres are starting to overheat. You need to ease off in the corners. This is your final lap of the race. We're leading our teammate by 18.4 seconds. They're on fresh super softs. The time last lap was a 1:38.7. The fastest lap at this point in time is a 1:34.9. Fantastic! You've won the Grand Prix.
So, another fantastic victory for Toro Rosso today. Tell me, Ant, what was the key to this success?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
And look at this, they're coming out now. Toro Rosso have developed something of a reputation for forging exciting talent, and we can see that here. An incredible victory. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Johansson increases their championship lead. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Oh, well, I'm a bit spoilt for choice, Crofty. My instinct says Valtteri Bottas, and looking down the field, no one really jumps out at me to make me change my mind.
And now let's take a look at the Constructors' standings. Toro Rosso moved to the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today, as they make their way up the standings. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment of this Formula One season.
amazing performance out there. You must be really happy. How are you feeling after that win? You must be thrilled to be up on the podium. You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled. It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it? Appreciate your time.